at the moms. How's that look there? No, it should be a little bit higher. See?
Yeah, sadly
Can't see you.
You can see me. It's not like you're missing much.
There we go.
Here we go.
Cool.
So spring break.
Spring break. That's a wonderful time of the year. My kids are still sleeping. Or they just woke up.
Are they?
I just woke up like 20 minutes ago before I got here.
Here's the funny thing. Our kids are, kids are lazy for the most part first thing in the morning. Any school day, they're dragging their butts.
Of course.
To get to school.
Yeah.
7 in the morning. Bo crawls out of bed.
Yeah.
Looks at me. She's like, Dad, what are we doing today? I'm like,
yeah.
Do you think we're on vacation?
Yeah.
Like, it's spring break. Dad still works.
Yeah.
Like, I work from home, so that's fine, but what are we doing?
I don't know.
Okay.
What should I do with this beard? What would go well? Shave the sides down, or
You look like you should be chewing
longer,
tobacco
or
and drinking whiskey first thing in the morning while chopping some firewood for your neighbors.
You know, I did get a beard balm that's whiskey scented.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice.
I got tobacco one too.
Nice. No, we'll tidy you up and make you look even more manly if that's even possible.
Well, you know, I'm a pretty manly character.
You are.
So.
You're quite possibly the second manliest person in this room right
Oh,
now.
probably. Probably close to it anyways.
Right. So you got anything going on? Are you sticking around home for spring break?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no. You mean China? No, I'm not going to China.
Oh,
Yeah.
you went there.
Yeah,
You went there.
That's how it's gonna go. No, we don't really do anything because we work. Same thing, right?
But it's funny how the kids think that spring break means there's action-packed days all the time. Like,
That's the problem with a lot of youth. I think it's almost like you have time off and it has to be awesome. If it isn't awesome, it sucks, and I hate doing it.
but here's the thing: you give it you give it a Saturday, Sunday, they're gonna be sitting in their pajamas all day.
Yeah.
Suddenly, this burst of energy hits them because it's spring break. It's like, hey, Dad, we're gonna. I'm like, Dad's got work to do. I'm gonna make time. Don't worry, we're gonna do something. We can go to the we can go to the super exciting winter fair, which has a petting zoo you can't pet the animals at.
So why can't you pet the animals?
I don't know. It's
You don't want to get more of those viruses, I guess.
well, isn't that how that happened? Didn't the original happen? Like,
Bat flu?
didn't a penguin kiss a turtle or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Penguin kissed a turtle. Jesus.
Yeah, it's like what? So what's at the fair? There's a carousel apparently.
Hay fever.
I can't go in there; it would kill me.
You know what's funny? When I was in high school, I had played football, and we had to work the winter fair. We set up the horse jumps.
Yeah.
You didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Where they don't do it anymore because kids don't want to do it unless they're getting paid.
Yeah, exactly. You can't have child labor.
Ugh. But you know what? We used to do it. We would go to, and you had a choice of nothing. If I had a job, but Friday would be like, Durhack, you're working from 6 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, and these guys are going from here to here. You just went.
Yeah.
And they paid us, I think they paid a nominal fee for us to do it, and all that money went to pay for our bus and everything else for the football team.
Yeah.
And we didn't mind doing it because we didn't have a choice.
But that's the big thing. There's no options.
No.
Do you want to play or do you not want to play?
Exactly. So we had to, and that was fine. We didn't complain. We just did it. But the kids, they don't do it anymore.
No.
Like, what the hell happened? But
No.
here's the thing. I remember there was a bit of hazing that used to happen back in the day.
No. There wasn't. No, that was just an urban legend, I thought.
Yeah, no. Like the rookies, like the first year football players, they would have at the gate when they let the horses in.
Yep.
The horses would always drop a deuce.
Of course.
Before they walk out,
Yeah.
right? So somebody had to be on shit patrol.
Yeah.
So you had to shovel it, you had to put it into a bucket and get it out of there. Well, the rookies, if they did well, we'd eventually give them a shovel. But they had to work their way up to their gloves first too.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah. So, and I would do
just
that.
get in there to your knuckles, right?
Just don't chew your fingernails. Don't eat hot wings or fries right after.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did some pretty gnarly stuff back then, but it was fun. But the winter fair to me, like, here's the sad thing. The most exciting thing we have going on in our city is that. And if you're into horses, that's great.
Yeah.
Not everybody is.
No. Thank goodness. Because I don't want to spend more time there because it kills me.
Oh, your allergies?
Oh, it just kills me. Quite literally. If anytime I've been at events and things, I'm like a walking zombie.
Really?
Yeah, it's bad.
You know, you dope yourself up with as much allergy meds as you can. Like, Gage is super allergic to this stuff. But of course they want to go, but they also want to do the petting zoo. And if the petting zoo isn't there, then what's the point? Like, you're just looking at a bunch of rodents that are common in the area.
Yeah, you look at some jumping and stuff, I guess. Maybe the super dogs, which is
Super dogs were kind of fun.
I don't know if they're still there or not.
I have a feeling that you're going to see PETA and all these other organizations just axe. I'm surprised that horse jumping even happens. Like, I'm surprised that that is even a thing anymore.
I remember a few years ago there was a big thing. I was listening to, I can't remember what radio station it was, and people were calling in talking about the abuse and how these people are, you know, hurting animals by training them, by riding them, by doing jumping and everything. And man, like that wasn't pretty, because the number of horse people, like horse enthusiasts and riders, phoned in and just slammed down this whole discussion was insane. You know, talking about, you know, the animals like pride in the work. They like doing these things. This isn't like they're being whipped to do this stuff here.
It's funny how it's so wrong to show your animal.
Yeah.
But you can eat them. Like,
yeah,
a calf scramble or a pig scramble is terrible.
Yeah.
But gut them, eat them.
This is delicious. At that
We're okay
point,
with that.
Yeah.
No, I think that it's people. It's like people are looking for a fight.
Yeah.
Everyone wants something to stand for and something to fight for. Like, stand for something, fight for something that's really, really wrong. You know, like if it's something that's detrimental to everything, yeah, for sure, fight against that. But things like like where the kids go and they scramble to get the sheep.
Yeah.
It's, first of all, I don't believe the kids are strong enough to hurt the sheep.
No,
I really don't.
good God, you should be more concerned about the sheep.
No one's concerned about the kids. That's the best part.
Rolling over on the kid or something, right?
Yeah.
So.
It's the sheep is going to have a tough go. Listen, your kid is 6 years old, weighs 30 pounds. He's trying to wrestle a 60-pound sheep.
Yeah.
But let's not hurt the sheep, right?
No, of course not. You know, people get caught up in these crazy things, you know, these crazy things they stand for. Here's one. You saw any of those TikTok hearings from Congress?
Oh, is that because you're... Go ahead.
Like, oh my God.
What's
with these congressmen here?
Well...
Like, they're picking the wrong thing to stand for. I mean, you have a legitimate thing to ask questions, and they're being idiots.
Where's the problem? They don't have a problem with an American company...
No, spying on them or whatever. And since when did these congressmen start being concerned about the children?
Right? But the thing is that, like, you have, you know, the other social medias that I'm sure are collecting stuff, but we also put it up there. Here's the thing, we voluntarily put our stuff up there.
All the time.
So...
All the time.
Unless you're an idiot and you're posting your credit card number, like,
well, people do that too, but I mean, that's how crazy people are. Right?
I'll tell you what, if China wants my ridiculous ramblings about life on TikTok, have them. Take them.
But they start talking like you, then we'll know what happened.
Right?
But, I mean, again, you know, there's a typical, like, standing for the wrong things just to get the attention, right? And it's even happening at that high-end level. Like, good God, you know, you're in a position to ask some legitimate questions, right? Like, what data is coming off the phone? Does it have access to other things? Because nobody reads a small print.
No, right? You don't read it? Oh, I read all of it.
My eyesight's too bad.
Well, that's true. No, I think that we live in an information age, and everything's tech-based. Everything is tech-based. So get used to it.
Yeah.
But you can also set what's going to be shared and what's not. I mean, if you go in there and actually set your phone up and set everything up properly, I mean, you probably aren't sharing much.
No, you're pretty anonymous. You can turn the GPS off. You can turn access to your photos and sound clips. The microphone to the camera, turn it off, right? Pretty simple.
Well, the nice thing about the microphone being turned on is that it's funny how I don't realize what I really want until Amazon tells me that I've been thinking about something for a while.
Isn't that the truth, eh?
like
that's scary, isn't it, sometimes?
But it's genius marketing, really. I mean,
it makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. Now, is it? So here's the thing: is it the technology that's doing it, or is it some sort of, you know, higher being that's doing it? Because we've all had that thought, you know, I should call my friend, and then they call immediately. Or, hey, you know what song I haven't heard in a while? This song. And next thing you know, it starts playing on the radio.
I think that's just coincidence.
That's a pretty big... So here's one. I was listening to a song one day, and I was like, I don't really want to listen to this song. And it wasn't a very high-end song. It was just one that was on my
playlist?
phone, yeah.
It's probably Hanson.
That's Hanson.
Yeah.
And,
see, I knew what you were thinking.
Of course.
Maybe on the high power.
See? So I turned it off, and it kept playing.
I'm sorry?
I was like, why is it still playing? I looked down, it's on the radio. Sure enough, that song was playing on the radio at the same place that it was when it was playing on my phone.
I don't know, I think it's a coincidence. Like, I'm pretty sure that the radio station isn't logging into your... Well, maybe it is. Maybe that's it. Maybe local radio is doing this to us.
Yeah, do we have anyone we can ask about that one, eh? So, somebody's running a Twitch stream. Maybe they've got microphones set up around the city.
They really should.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, like, Tyler's knocking this thing out of the park with this radio show. Smart. It's got everything that you need. He's good.
I didn't know he was doing a Twitch stream.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool way to do it, though.
It is a cool way to do it. Like, he's got everything going on. He's got local stuff, weather and roads and all that stuff, but it's a good show. You know, I'm happy to see him do it because he did it properly. Like, he's doing it right, and it's nice to see. It's nice to see someone looking at where things are going, and gravitating towards that and using that medium. You know, anybody that isn't, well, too bad.
But I remember watching a show on The Great One, you know, Wayne Greztky, and they always said that you know, he's an unreal player because he just seems to have this uncanny ability of knowing where the puck is going to go, right? So in this video, he's talking about how he developed this innate skill. When he was a kid, he would sit down and literally just watch hockey games. And whenever a puck got cleared into a corner, he would put it down on a whiteboard. So he played the statistics of it. You know, it was so he knew where it was going, not from some innate skill, but because he was actually paying attention. So when you have somebody who blows it out of the park, and people go, "Well, you got so lucky," it's like, was it luck, or is it just somebody was actively paying attention to things?
It's funny, you talk about Gretzky. I had a guy, a buddy of mine in Winnipeg, they have a podcast, and they do drinks all the time. Yeah. And I guess Messier was an Oiler too. Mark Messier?
Could be.
Right, I don't know, I don't watch a lot of soccer. But they go, this one's called this is called the Messier, and he goes, who would Wayne Gretzky be without Mark Messier? And it's this Wayne Gretzky whiskey. Right. He goes, 1 ounce Wayne Gretzky. He goes, a little bit of Wayne Gretzky and a whole lot of Coke. Oh, God.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. No, I think when you have anybody who pays attention to what's going on, even if you look at any business that you're in, any industry that you're in, anything that you can say, okay, here's where it's going, I better get on that. Yeah. And like you're kind of the king of passive income, for sure. Like you figured out a way to work, and then you have something else going on, so it sort of rolls into it, and it's a
nice snowball effect.
It's a nice snowball effect, and I mean, if you're in any industry where what you're doing is whether you're in massage or whatever, and you can have something that's complementary that also pays you when you're not doing it.
Why the hell wouldn't you?
Well, people
I don't get it.
But that's kind of the new way. You can do that now. This is an option that hasn't been around. Now it is. Like,
it's definitely a lot easier. Well, it's kind of like going back to the old days of having a grocery store, right? You know, you just didn't sell one thing.
No?
Well, if you did, but you knew it didn't work very well, so.
No.
Like,
can you imagine being in a store that you only sold one thing? It would be good if you're the
leftorium or something.
The leftorium.
Just left-handed stuff, right? Or even more.
But it would work if you only sold one thing, but you're the only person that sold that one thing.
Yes, it would.
You know, sort of like Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. We like to call those monopolies, right?
Yeah, but those are illegal, so we don't call it that. We just call it exclusive.
Exclusivity. Yeah, exactly. Jeez. Yeah. It's funny how things kind of just shift a little bit.
They do. But I mean, I think that you're going to start seeing people looking for different ways of either delivering their message through social media or finding another income stream through passive income than ever before, because times are lean, man.
You have to. And, you know, it's actually surprising. Okay, throwback. Remember that TikTok we did with, 30 hours a week? I remember my first full-time, part-time job too, right? And it's actually surprising how many people still have that mentality. That's like, you know, like we shouldn't have to work our whole lifestyle just to have just to be able to afford the lifestyle. It's like, well, you do have to pay for the lifestyle. So if you want more, you should have to earn it. Well, that's a hard concept, right?
And be effective when you're working, right? Like, be effective when you're working. If you're kind of mediocre at what you're doing, you're not going to do any better working less. Yeah. But if you bang it out to the point where you're so good at what you do that you don't need to do it, like you have to put in the hours to get better at what you're doing, right? Yeah. So you put in the hours, you get better at what you're doing, and then you have a system that makes your work quality just better. Yeah. So you don't have to put in 60 hours. You can do it in 30 or 20, and you're still getting the same results unless you're getting paid by the hour.
That's a whole other story, right? I mean,
Right.
And I think that in itself is a big shift that our society's moving away from. You know, it used to be that when it came to resources in life, you had time, and most people perceived it as essentially the quantity of time as opposed to the quality of it, right? Same thing with how we spent your energy. Was it going to be busy or productive? And for the longest time, everything was just very busy. That's why you get the water cooler, and you get the dead time. You get checking the email every 5 minutes. The corporate lifestyle, right? But then when they came to this work from home concept, people started going, wait a minute, hold on here. So I'm working from home. I can work as fast as I want. If I can get my job done in 6 hours, I get to buy back 2 hours of me time.
Well,
that's a win.
And the thing is, what are you doing at the office? What are you doing at the office?
Yeah.
Like we have an office. I utilize it very little.
Yeah.
But I mean, we have an office, but my work is done, like in real estate, it's done at the house.
Yeah.
At a kitchen table. That's where it happens. On the phone now with electronic signatures, you're not running back and forth as much. Like, we're sort of becoming that unplugged but plugged in model, in that you don't need to have a spot. Like, you need it because you're a clinic. You need that.
Unfortunately, yes, there's no way around that one.
But I know people like my dad. My dad had a financial, he was a financial planner forever, right? The only reason he had an office was because, like, he didn't need it. There was no need for it, but because one of the companies that he represented, like, you have to have an office.
I have a storefront, yeah.
It's like, for what? So now you're also paying staff, and you're paying this, and you're paying that. So you're paying for people just to be there, to answer the phone when you're not there, doing what you do, because you do what you do when you're not at the office.
Absolutely.
So, no, I think you're going to see a lot of people working from home offices, working from home everything.
Well, that was the biggest shift that really came around with COVID that people didn't fully realize. Everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, start their own business and such, right?
Yeah.
And you see a lot of it in Brandon for a lot of years, right? People start up a little business and they're shut down in like 3 months, right?
Yeah.
Which is cool. That's the reality of it, because things cost money, and the overhead is a killer. It's crushing.
And unless that overhead's paying you, like, unless there's something that, because you're there, it's really helping, it's not necessary. Like, I had a guy come in here yesterday because he's looking at buying property. And he's a barber.
Yeah.
But he wants to start his own barbershop, and there's no room in the house, but I don't know if there's room in the house, but there's actually another agent that brought him here to see this.
Okay, yeah.
He's like, I know a guy that's got a barbershop at his house, and this guy wants to start a barbershop at his house. And he came in here, he's like, wow. I'm like, yeah, wow. This has been here for 2 years, over 2 years.
Yeah.
This is probably the smartest move I ever made.
Yeah.
Was doing this, because it works. Kelsey's at work. So the kids are home right now. That's fine.
Yep.
Summertime's fine. Everything's good. My office for real estate's downstairs. That works.
Yeah.
So yeah, I go to the office when I need to. I am back here when I need to meet with clients here. And yeah, it just works. You can change your model. You can change what you do.
This is basically what you've done, is successfully monetize the man cave.
You're right.
Like,
you're right. This is a man cave that makes money.
Isn't that should be the dream?
Right? Yeah. Like, it's a place to hang out.
Like I don't see what the issue is here. Just everyone should have a profitable man cave.
Well, and here's the thing. We couldn't do this in a public barbershop.
Right.
We couldn't, because you'd have somebody in the background that's not supposed to be there.
I don't want to be on camera.
I don't want to be on camera.
So,
like, you know what? Sorry, everybody loves to be on camera.
See, you know what your next step is? Well, I mean, I guess you wouldn't want this because you don't get the influx of new people. It would be like a membership of it.
Of this?
Yeah. Like, you pay whatever it is for a barbershop, right? You get your guaranteed haircut for whatever, and I don't know, you put like poker night on a Friday or something like that.
Right. Oh, good.
And you just, you weasel more money out of people by schooling them in poker or something, right?
Too bad I'm horrible at poker. I'm a terrible actor. Like, I can't, my poker face is bad. Which is funny because
you're an actor, right?
Somewhat.
Well, usually you're playing either an angry guy or a dead guy, and those facial features you can pull off pretty good.
And here's the funny thing. I got called in for this last one, and I'm a good guy.
Okay.
I'm usually a bad guy with a gun. Now I'm a good guy with a gun.
So so does that mean you can smile now?
I don't know. I don't know if SWAT teams smile much.
I don't know.
But it's nuts. Like, I got called in for this thing. And here's the thing. Literally anybody can do that kind of work. You don't have to be talented or particularly attracted to do it, right?
Okay, yeah.
So,
thank goodness.
Right? So I got called in and they're like, hey, can you we like you for this movie. We need you for this, and because I'm firearms trained and all that stuff, they call me and this other guy, and I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. When are we filming? She goes, well, in April. I'm like, perfect, because Kelsey was in Mexico.
Okay.
So I'm like, yeah. When is the first day of shooting? She goes, Tuesday. I'm like, Tuesday. Well, I have to pick up Kelsey from the airport on Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's with her mother, which means that would have been the other person to pick her up.
Yeah.
And we have 2 kids. So luckily, I said, give me a couple hours. And usually they need an answer like right now because I got to find somebody.
Yeah.
She goes, okay, no problem. So I call Jeff and Greg, take the kids overnight, take them to school in the morning. I drop the car off at the airport in Brandon for her to take.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. The costume department usually had my size in boots.
Yeah.
In SWAT boots, size 15. I go, have you got a pair of boots still? She goes, what size are you got? I go, 15. She goes, what? No. She goes, that was another costume department. I'm like, oh.
That's
so
a problem. Yeah.
I almost don't get the part because my feet are too big.
Yeah.
I go, just bear with me for a second. I go on Amazon, 2-day shipping. They're here. She goes, you might as well buy a pair because we're going to call you for more of this stuff anyway. So have a pair.
That works. Yeah.
Perfect. And like everything just lined up right.
That's cool.
And yeah, we get to shoot. The funny thing is, this movie, the original director of this was supposed to be Fred Durst.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was reading up on it. And
Fred Durst, like Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. And then Eli Roth's company jumped in, who do the really messed up horror movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a horror flick. Psycho Killers. And they're filming a couple days in Brandon, and I did that's where the April shoots are. So I did a day in Winnipeg, and now back in Brandon, and then back in Winnipeg. And yeah, it's going to be
That's cool. It's going to be a lot of blood.
Yeah, there will be. It's hard to have a slasher flick without any blood. Yeah. But I bet you this is how the world's going to change, man. You're going to see the days of horror movies, of gory horror movies, are going to go away. Yeah. Because everybody's going to be too butthurt to be like, they cut that guy. I'm like, yeah, they cut him. He went through a wood chipper. Yeah, there's going to be blood.
There's going to be a side effect to that.
Yeah.
But you know, like, I do really feel that some movies were getting way too bloody, right?
I'll tell you what, I'm a film hound. I love movies. And I was a horror movie buff. Like, from grade 4 is when I first started watching Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. See, there was gory, but nothing to what some of the movies ended up being, right?
No.
But man, I remember being terrified of that show.
Well,
right?
Freddy was. Here's the thing about Freddy. He messed with your head. Like, he spoke. Yeah. He had personality. He was funny.
Yeah.
But he was disgusting, and it was nuts. But I mean, those movies required like practical effects. You didn't have CGI.
Right.
And the writing was always better. Like, the one movie that scares the piss out of me till this day.
Yeah.
Is the Amityville Horror.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, Ryan Reynolds did a remake and nailed it out of the park. It was perfect.
Oh really?
Yeah,
okay.
It's really good. I even have a tough time watching it. I own it, and I have a tough time watching it because that movie scared the shit out of me when I was younger. Yeah. And it's based on this house that is still standing that people live in. Yeah. In Amityville, Long Island.
And apparently it's okay.
Apparently it's okay. Yeah. You know, but I mean, it's back when they had to write really good horror movies. Yeah. That's when they were great.
You know, I still like The Shining. That was still one that freaks me out just
The Shining.
You know, because it was, you know, sure, there was a whole lot of blood. Well, one scene, there's a whole lot of blood.
Well, it's a movie about being stuck with your family in the middle of nowhere for too long.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
You want to take this in a bit? Shape this?
I guess so.
I'm going to.
You tell me.
I'm going to.
This beard thing is a whole new experience, man. I have no idea.
Looks awesome. But again, that was Stephen King. Stephen King was an amazing writer, and he was good at writing stories about people's minds snapping. Yeah. That was his thing.
But apparently, like, the movie that they did wasn't even, like, Kubrick changed it.
Yep.
So much that Stephen King demanded his name taken off of it.
Really?
Yeah.
See, Kubrick was a different filmmaker too. Like, he was, he had this twisted way of looking at things. Yeah. It was just different. Like, if this is the way we all look at it, he's looking at it from over here.
And that's why it's scary.
Yeah.
Because it's real. It's factual, but it's different, right?
Yeah.
And that's the scariest thing, when something looks right, but something isn't quite right.
I'm just waiting to see a horror movie come out where you've got just slight inconveniences making people snap. Like, The Shining was pretty extreme.
You mean like real life, then?
Right. But I mean, you look at The Shining, you look at those movies where it was pretty extreme. They're in the middle of nowhere for an extended period of time. Yeah, you're going to go a little batty. Yeah. But I'm talking like, as soft, I mean, the world's becoming softer than baby shit right now. Yeah. That kind of a thing where it's just the most random, like, the ice cream machine isn't working at McDonald's.
Yeah, like the movie, that Michael Douglas movie, Falling Down.
Falling Down, yep.
where he just completely goes postal.
Yep.
I mean, we can. That's even worse. I watched a bit of that movie just a little while ago, and I was like, "Wow, I relate to a lot of this."
Isn't that something that you can relate to the worst part of the film?
And yeah, it's like, wow.
Yeah, but I mean, we that's where good storytelling is, because you look at the most mundane things.
Yeah.
That causes someone to just lose their goddamn mind.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he was unstable. Well,
sure, yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of people that are unstable, but it doesn't mean they go around shooting up whatever, right?
But you push someone to the point. I mean, it's a hyper reality of what could possibly happen, right? Like the chances of that happening are very slim. I mean, I remember watching Elon Musk in an interview, and he said the amount of truly evil people on this planet is like maybe 0.005%. He goes,
Which
not that many.
This is still a pretty high percentage if you think about it.
Right, but very few truly terrible or horrible people. There's a lot of assholes in the world, but not a lot of truly evil people.
Correct.
Right? So when we watch these things, we're looking at the mindset of such a small fraction of society that we could never relate to.
Yeah.
That's what draws us to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or you get the one that's so everybody can relate to it. Like, I really need to watch The Whale.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because that's...
I've heard it's actually really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you take a story where everybody can relate, or you take a story where nobody can relate.
Yeah.
And those two things can, boom, collide and make something great. But no, I think...
And I mean, who doesn't like Brendan Fraser?
I like Brendan Fraser. I think he's fantastic. But the guy, for him to go from Encino Man to this, and then be ostracized for years.
Yeah.
Like, why? Well, we know why.
There's a lot of bad things that happened to that guy.
To him. He didn't do them.
Directly
to him. So, yeah, he made it, and that was probably the most genuine acceptance speech I've ever... Like, he was so thankful.
Yeah.
Thankful. Even Jamie Lee Curtis, she's like, oh my God, I won an Oscar.
Yeah.
Like, her parents were Hollywood royalty.
Yeah.
And she was the screen queen. And for her to win an Oscar, she was just dumbfounded. She was like, holy shit.
Well, it was definitely a weird Oscar. Like, it was a different award ceremony, because you get Short Round winning an award too, of all, and who saw that coming, right?
Well, yeah, because he was in Goonies, he was Data, and then he was Short Round in Indiana Jones, and you didn't hear from him.
No, he was completely, more or less, out of the entire industry.
Right. So there's a guy, again, you take the right movie, and you have someone doing their job properly in it, and it happens. No, it was probably one of the best ones I've seen in a while. Little classless on the lady who played the Queen in Wakanda Forever.
Oh,
because she was up for Best Supporting Actress. She didn't win.
Right.
She didn't even stand up when Jamie Lee Curtis won.
Really?
Nope. Like, just sour. I'm like, you know what? Here's the thing. She was part of an amazingly trippy movie.
Yeah.
And did it very well.
Yeah.
You were part of a MCU movie, which was fine.
Yep.
And I'll tell you right now, it was not my favorite MCU movie by
far. It wasn't my favorite one. It was good, but it wasn't. It wasn't great. I walked away from it for a couple of times, came back, and was like, I haven't really missed anything.
Yeah, like the best superhero movie I watched in the last little bit, I took the kids to go see Shazam.
Okay.
Entertaining. It's entertaining. Yeah. I enjoyed it, right?
Shazam is funny. It's
yeah.
Well, so you didn't see Black Adam then, eh?
Oh, we did see Black Adam. Yeah. Saw that too.
Any good?
I liked it. A couple plot holes, like when you have the Justice Society come in, you don't... Where the hell did these guys come from? It would have been nice to have some preempt. Here's why they are
or something, yeah.
But they just came in like they were always there, and of course they're like, "Well, how come you guys haven't been here to save us for this long?"
Yeah.
But now this guy's here, so you're coming here to help. Like, it was okay. DC isn't banging it out the way that DC isn't banging it out because they can't be funny like Marvel.
Yeah.
However, Shazam is meant to be funny, so that's how they can pull that off.
But that's the problem. I was reading an article. Where was it? They were talking about, actually it was Brunson's book, Russell Brunson's book. He's talking about the difference between DC and Marvel. DC was these fantastic heroes, right?
Yeah.
That when Stan Lee created Marvel characters, he made them have exceptionally flawed characters with major weaknesses, and that was the biggest difference.
Yeah.
I mean, Batman had a big weakness, but he really didn't have it. It was just something bad that had happened to him that turned him.
Right. Yeah, trauma.
Exactly. It wasn't until modern day where they started really kind of playing onto it as this weakness and as fears and everything, right?
And here's the thing, when you look at these people that wrote, like Sam Kirby, Stan Lee, these guys that wrote these characters, like, you look at the best writers in history.
Yeah.
sadly, Stan Lee will never be considered to be a great writer, but he
No.
created more characters and
Yeah.
more worlds
Yeah.
than any other writer that I can think of.
Yeah.
Like, name one. I can't name one
No.
who has created as much as he has.
No, massive legacy.
Yeah, but comics.
Yeah.
Say we don't take that seriously because it's comic books.
They should, because comic books were one of those things that really shaped the world and did a lot, especially when it came to equality and breaking down censorship laws and the feminist movement, all that sort of thing.
Well, you look at things like, I was a big X-Men fan.
Yeah.
Like, X-Men was completely, that whole storyline was about
Being different.
being different, being oppressed.
Yeah.
What's the word? Come on, when you're
Persecuted.
persecuted. No. If you're, let's just say you're Chinese and I'm white, and I assume that you're like this. What is it? Come on, it's the worst.
Ostracized.
Ostracized. Stereotypes. Sorry,
Stereotypes.
it was about stereotypes, and it's about cultural stereotypes and people being different, whether they're
Yeah.
black or mutants or whatever.
Yeah.
And that whole thing is based on that. All of it is based on they're
Yeah.
different, and everybody hates them because they're
Just
different.
because they're different. They don't know how they're different. They just know they're different.
However, they're just
Yeah.
there to help. They're trying to help.
Yeah.
But when you're always ostracized, that's when you're gonna have the bad ones who are like, screw these guys. We're gonna,
Yep.
you know, it's no different. But it was probably some of the best comic book writing ever, and
Yep.
it has continued that all the way through.
Yeah.
You know, Spider-Man, yeah, he was a teenager, he was
Same
broke,
thing.
didn't have any money.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, these guys wrote really great stuff. Superman is basically indestructible.
Basically God.
Yeah.
For the most
Batman is rich. That's a superpower.
Yep.
And they have a tough time. There's no relatability there, right?
Yep.
But no, I think that I love the fact that we're seeing this on the screen. I
Yep.
love it. I love seeing.
It's cool stuff. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's good to kind of get away from it. And I mean, it's on one hand it's probably ruined the possibility of having just good filmmaking in different ways. But on the other hand, it's also saved Hollywood because they're the only ones that are making money nowadays.
Who did they say? Somebody went up and said this person single-handedly saved Hollywood.
Yeah. It was about talking about Tom Cruise. I think it was it
Top Gun.
Cameron? Yeah, it was James Cameron said that about Top Gun.
Yeah, Top Gun Maverick saved
Yeah.
cinema because
Yeah.
people had to go see that in the theater.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was an amazing movie.
Yeah. Because
Like,
otherwise, people were just, I'll wait for it to stream.
yeah,
I'll just pirate it or something, right?
that movie was so good because not only like the action sequences, but the fact that they used practical cameras for it.
And that was what was crazy.
Like the actors were in the jet with
Yeah.
the camera. They had to operate the camera while they were in that little cockpit.
Yeah.
Like, who does that anymore?
Yeah, exactly.
They did it. and
Tom
it
Cruise,
felt
that's what it.
Tom
right?
Cruise. Is there anything he can't do?
I haven't seen it yet.
Reach the top shelf at a.
Well, there's that.
He just can't
right?
reach the top shelf because he's what, 5'3".
Some of the stunts that he does is crazy though. Like
Yeah.
the new one for Mission Impossible, where he rides a motorcycle off of a ramp, off of a cliff, and then parachutes away. It's like,
But that's how you get to work usually. Like you don't usually just hop it off the North Hill and then float
Right.
down into your clinic.
oh god, can you even imagine trying to get that speed on an upward sloping ramp would scare the hell out of me.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, because that thing was, I don't know how high it was.
High enough that I wouldn't do it.
You know, it's like, okay, this is what we're going to do. You're going to get top speed the second before the ramp ends. And you're going to keep holding on and then let go.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
that sounds like a whole lot of bad.
I'd hit the binders and just fall off the edge of that thing real
Oh,
quick.
probably, yeah.
I'd just be a rock.
But like he nailed it. Like, and again and again and again. You
Yeah,
just
it
keep
doesn't happen
hoping.
once. Like, and the thing is, for every scene that's shot, you do it until it's right,
Yeah.
and then you do it again from other angles.
Yeah.
So you do every scene like 3 times.
Yeah, I think that, like he did it, what, 7 times or something? I was like, I guess it eventually would get boring.
Yeah, it's like,
I've
okay.
done it. What's next?
No,
Right?
it's when you see that kind of filmmaking, it just blows my mind, and I love it.
Yeah, because everything got so computerized, right?
Uh-huh.
Like just so much. It just wasn't fun anymore. It's like, okay, it looks cool, but it also looks fake.
Yeah, it's cool, but yeah, there's no way this happened.
It's
and not that there's anything. You're not looking for reality.
No,
But you're not looking for realism, but you're looking for something that's like, holy shit, they did that?
You want kind of an escapism, you know,
Yeah.
that's beyond belief. You know?
Yeah.
But it's like, there it is, it's done.
Yeah.
I mean, Marvel did a good job of kind of blending it in.
Yeah.
You know, so you knew it wasn't real, but it sure looked really real.
Yeah.
Right? But then you just come out with, you know, every other movie that's come out since then.
Then again, Sharknado's had how many films?
Sharknado was... there was a zombie movie. What was it called?
Oh, the British one?
No, there was another one, and there was a part where there's a tornado that's coming, and it grabs all the zombies, and it's the same company that created Sharknado.
Well, they're good at it.
Right? So they're like, the tornado's picking up these zombies, and the one character goes, "So it's like a zombie NATO?"
Oh, groan.
And there's zombies flying everywhere. And that was actually a pretty funny, good.
The best part is that you
show.
watched it.
But you know, we watched on a lark.
Yeah.
The first couple, we were like, this is so stupid.
I do need to see Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, you know, like that was the last movie that what's his name did.
Oh, come on, he's on Goodfellas. It is Ray Liotta.
Yes, that was his last movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's a legacy you want to have.
Why not? He's been in some real bombs, but Ray Liotta was, and I've got his autograph right there, by the way.
Oh,
Ray Liotta, like, he was great. And when you lose those ones, it sucks, because, like, who's going to fill those shoes? Nobody.
You know, peak Ray Liotta,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Grand Theft Auto, Vice City.
He was in that?
He was the character in Vice City, the main
Really?
character. Yeah.
I never played
It
it.
was all 80s Miami Vice, Scarface inspired, right?
Nice.
And it has Ray Liotta as the main character.
See, that's cool.
It was like, man, who is this guy? Why does he sound so familiar? And then it's like, oh, it's Ray Liotta. Well, no wonder it's so realistic.
Yeah. No, that's, and you know what, and the thing is, with video games and everything else, you have a lot more actors coming out doing that, and animation, and voiceover, and you name it. So, I mean, there's so much opportunity for people in that. You know, like, it's not going away. Everybody loves stories.
Well, no, everyone likes having master storytellers and entertained, right?
Yes.
That's the fun part.
Yeah. So, how do you think?
Looks good.
Yeah.
Cleaned up a little
I
bit.
didn't ask, I just did.
Thumbs up. I don't know.
There we go, another haircut with Jay on.
Cool. Thanks, guys.